for joining us this morning. We are excited to launch this data collection initiative here at the Office of Federal Assistance. Um, how many of y'all are familiar with us with a show of hands? So oh, awesome. Yes. So the Office of Federal Assistance, we are that centralized federal financial assistance office here in the state of Nevada. We are your single point of contact as well. So for your SF-424s that require intergovernmental review per Executive Order 12372, we are that person, that entity that you submit those intergovernmental reviews to. And for our state agencies, all of you guys, our state agencies, we have an extra layer of regulations through NRS that does require that agencies report to us every time that they apply for, receive, or amend or close out a federal award. So some of the things that we're trying to do as Kelly is here from OPM, build a grant management system for the state of Nevada, and that requires information. And what we've done as a team, as a group, is roll out this workbook to our state agencies so that we can collect these data elements through a cataloging so that we have this information that we can get a baseline, kind of figure out what that system is going to look like. Um, Hopefully the information that we sent out was helpful. Again, the folks that are at the NSU NSHE level, I apologize because you cannot access our internal website, but I can send all of these attachments to you via email. That it's basically the same process. You would fill out the workbook, follow the instructions, and then just email us the workbook as an attachment. Just given that you don't have access to that shared folder to upload your documents. For those in the executive branch at the state level, you can upload those documents into our shared folder within that deadline. Keep in mind, we're a very flexible team. We understand that everyone's really, really busy. We understand that we're a small team, we're a tiny team, just a little tiny team, and we understand that everybody else has really small teams, or we're spread really thin just in regards to capacity. So if there is a need to take a look at these timelines, we can always work on that. We're willing to meet everyone where they're at in regards to workload and answering any questions. Just off the bat, a question that I did see um, within the sign up sheet was the FAFATA question. So the idea is for us to get those FAIN numbers so that we're able to pull the FAFATA reporting on your behalf. So we're not going to require any of the subrecipient reporting, subawarding reporting. We're just asking for prime awards. Um, so funding federal financial assistance that is coming directly into your agency, and we're not necessarily asking right now for what's being pushed out. So no subaward contracts, nothing, just what's coming in, just to keep it simple. We do ask for a ballpark number. How many sub awards do you have? Not subrecipients, but sub awards that you're managing. Again, just to look at capacity as we build the system, or tailor tweak the system so that we're making sure that we have the capacity to manage those subawards in a very effective way. But up until this point, does anyone have any questions?
Hi, Maita. This is Christine from Nevada State University.
Hi.
Thank you for sending the attachments. The Excel sheet still asks us to sign in to the Nevada system, so we're still
Okay.
having trouble with the form.
Okay.
Um, but on another note, I just wanted to know what fiscal year, like how far back you want this information to go.
Okay. Yeah, not a problem. So I believe we're asking for state fiscal year 25 and 24. Did I not write that in the guidance memo? I apologize. Let me take a look. I thought about it, but I might have not written it. Yeah, so if we could do state fiscal year 24 and 25, that is a great question. And thank you for pointing that out. We had talked about it, right, Kelly? Or was it with NDE? I don't remember. And then what I'll do, Christine, is I will see if we can download this Excel sheet and send it as an attachment so you're not required to sign in. That is odd. So for those state agencies that are in the state, if you click on that link in the guidance memo, it'll bring you to this internal site where you can see that we have the step-by-step directions, the actual form, and then where to upload. Fairly straightforward. You would download those directions. It is just a PDF document, and this is what I sent separately. And Christine, we'll make sure that we get that word or that workbook out to you. Um, this does walk through that and the data elements that we are collecting, and hopefully answering any questions, and then how to download that template, making sure that everything's reviewed and signed and then uploaded into that shared folder. Um, and then just pinging us, hey, we've completed this with that one subject line, just so that we can filter and sort our inbox, because we do get quite a few emails into our general inbox. Um, for the workbook, again, just downloading that workbook here. Directions are in the first tab. This is also part of our internal monitoring that we are conducting, and you'll see a little bit more information coming out. So if you've already done this as part of monitoring with the Office of Federal Assistance, it does not have to be reduplicated. If it's your first time seeing this, we do ask you to go through um, the different elements. It is just a walkthrough. So you would take a look at the award category, what type of award is coming in. Again, as the recipient of the funding, what does that look like? Is this the initial award? And then we are asking for that 5-digit ALN number, that identification number, and then again, that federal agency awarding name, your FAIN number. So then this, again, if we want to go in and do that exercise for the FAFATA pool, we can do this on our end. We're not asking you all to do that for us at this time. If this is an amended award, we are asking for that amendment number. What type of instrument is being used? If this is a project grant, if this is a purchase order, if this is a contract, depending, everyone's a little different in regards to the federal financial assistance that's coming in. Um, if you are subject to FAFATA reporting, yes or no. And then again, if this is flagged as yes, we just want to make sure that everyone is current. And if yes, when was the last year that you reported for your FAFATA? How is this funding being expended? Again, if it is an initial award, how are you expending that? And sending that out to folks. And then this is where we do ask for subaward agreements. Does your agency currently manage any? As a whole number, not subrecipients, but the actual number of subawards. If it's 0, you can hit 0. Program or project name, we are asking for that, and that is just whatever the state refers to that program or project name as. What is this? I need to go in and delete that. Brief program description, just a couple of sentences, so we have an idea as to what the project it is that you're working on. When did it start? When does it anticipate to end, or maybe ended if it's recently been closed out? When does the budget period start, and when does the budget period end, if that is different, if this is a continuation of something of the sort? Curious about liquidation period per your notice of grant award, if that is the case. What is the current award amount? The cumulative award amount is a subject to supplement, not supplant clause, which you can find in your notice of grant award. Usually there's language there. If there's an approved indirect amount, what does that look like in dollars? If there's a cap on administrative costs, simple yes or no. And if it's yes, what is the percentage or dollar amount of the cap? We are not picky, either or, depending on what your notice of grant award looks like. We also want to know what your cumulative expenditures have been through the end of the reporting quarter. So through the end of this year, I think it's March 31st, 2025. And then whether or not match is required, yes or no. The amount of match from the state agency. So how much you as a state agency are required to provide for match. If it's a subaward, or if you're required to subaward, if there's an amount of match from the subrecipient that is required, if applicable, and what that percentage is looking like. We just want to see what that is being passed down to our sub recipients. And then maintenance of effort, whether or not that is required. Again, just yes or no. And then what does that look like? What's your base year? What's that amount of maintenance of effort? And then your administrative set aside, if any, both in percent and dollar. And then we're curious about your FPS, what federal payment systems y'all are using, if any. And then if there's any balance remaining for your ended awards, what that looks like. Oh, Shauna, you're not on mute. And then you're a good girl. And then the reason for unspent balance for those ended awards, if there was a reason why something was reverted back to the feds. But yeah, pretty straightforward as you work through this. If you find any glitches in the workbook, I'll go in and update this because there is one little glitch in there. So I appreciate everyone's eyes, but yeah, pretty straightforward. Again, just direct federal financial assistance that's coming into your agency. Taking the time to work through that exercise. We're not asking for any backup documentation, any source documentation, just again, this catalog in a sense to be sent back to us with that due date of May 27th. And then I will make sure that I flag our team to send out a note that we're asking for this fiscal year 25, state fiscal year, and then state fiscal year 24 as well. And I apologize. It was on a version somewhere. But yes. And then for my NSU, my NSHE folks, we'll go ahead and figure out, Christine, I'll see if I can download this and send it to you because I'm not quite sure why it's asking you to log in. That is so strange. Kelly, I see you typing.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Oh, you're good. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Again, as things come up as you work through this, please feel free to just reach out to us. If you have any feedback, please feel free to reach out to us. Hopefully it's user friendly. And hopefully you have this information already. It's just a matter of kind of dragging and dropping into this workbook. And then hopefully where there's a sigh of relief that we don't have to do the FAFATA piece. Just a yes or no. Any questions?
Sorry, it's Christine again. I do have one more question.
No, you're fine. Go
So
ahead.
you
Hopefully I have an
mentioned-
answer.
You mentioned that this is only direct federal awards that we need to report
Yes.
on this template.
Yes.
In the award category, sub-award is one of the options, so we
Yes.
wouldn't be using that
You would
in this
not.
case? Okay.
No, and initially what happens is this is a multi-purpose workbook. So depending on
gotcha.
who uses it, we were originally, Christine, I was asking for all of the sub-award information, but we decided to do it in pieces because it was like, holy smack, because some folks have 700 sub-awards. And so, yes, so that's in there for that. The reason it's still in there because we are asking of some folks, but currently for you, no, we're not asking for sub-award, just direct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course. Any other questions? I really do appreciate everyone hopping on. Um, this has been recorded, so we'll go ahead and upload it um, onto our website. Again, as you work through this, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. If you don't think that you're the individual that should be filling out this workbook, reach out to us as well. It's probably going to be one of your budget folks that has their finger or their pulse on kind of all of the federal financial assistance that's coming into the state. You've probably been asked for several different iterations of this, just given what's happened recently from GFO as well. So whatever information you already have or that you might be missing, or if you're not quite sure, just leave it blank and we'll follow up with you and be like, hey, this doesn't make sense. But if you can take the time to work through that to make sure that it is current because again this will be informing what needs to be built out. It'll be establishing a baseline for the state of Nevada as to all of the federal financial assistance that's coming into the state so that we're not requiring third-party databases to kind of validate the information that we don't have a complete picture of. But yes, any questions outside? Christine, thank you. All right. I'm going to give back everybody 40 minutes of their time. that was a lot faster than I anticipated. Okay,
Thank you all.
Thank you.
thank you. Have a good
Bye.
morning. Bye.